Refresher on the rules for discussing Israeli wars. Okay, it's been a few months since the last war Israel started, so now that Iran's on the chopping block, let's go over the rules once again. Rule 1. Israel is never the aggressor. If Israel attacks someone, it's either a response to an aggression that happened in the past or a preemptive attack to thwart an imminent aggression in the future. Rule 2. History automatically restarts at the date of the last act of aggression against Israel. If someone attacks Israel, it was completely unprovoked because nothing happened before the attack on Israel. Rule 3. Anything bad that Israel does is justified by Rule 2. This is true even if it does things that would be considered completely unjustifiable if it were done by a nation like Russia or China. Rule 4. Israel has a right to defend itself, but nobody else does. Rule 5. Israel never bombs civilians, it bombs bad guys. If shocking numbers of civilians die, it's because they were actually bad guys, or because bad guys killed them, or because a bad guy stood too close to them. If none of those reasons apply, then it's for some other mysterious reason we are still waiting for the IDF to investigate. Rule 6. Criticizing anything Israel does means you hate Jewish people. There is no other possible reason for anyone to oppose acts of mass military slaughter besides a seething, obsessive hatred for a small Abrahamic faith. Rule 7. Nothing Israel does is ever as bad as the hateful criticisms described in Rule 6. Criticisms of Israel's actions are always worse than Israel's actions themselves, because those critics hate Jews and wish to commit another Holocaust. Preventing this must consume 100% of our political energy and attention. Rule 8. Israelis are only ever the victims and never the victimizers. If Israelis kill Iranians, it's because the Iranians hate Jews. If Iranians kill Israelis, it's because the Iranians hate Jews. Israel is an innocent little lamb that just wants to mind its own business in peace. Rule 9. The fact that Israel is literally always in a state of war with its neighbors and with displaced indigenous populations must be interpreted as proof that Rule 8 is true instead of proof that Rule 8 is ridiculous nonsense. Rule 10. The lives of people in Muslim nations are much less important to us than Western lives or Israeli lives. Nobody is allowed to think too hard about why this might be. Rule 11. The media always tell the truth about Israel and its various conflicts. If you doubt this, then you are likely in violation of Rule 6. Rule 12. Unsubstantiated claims which portray Israel's enemies in a negative light may be reported as factual news stories without any fact-checking or qualifications, while extensively evidenced records of Israeli criminality must be reported on with extreme skepticism and doubtful qualifiers like Iran claims, Hezbollah says, or according to the Hamas-run health ministry. This is important to do because otherwise you might get accused of being a propagandist. Rule 13. Israel must continue to exist in its current iteration, no matter what it costs or how many people need to die. There is no need to present any logically or morally grounded reasons why this is the case. If you dispute this, then you are likely in violation of Rule 6. Rule 14. The U.S. government has never lied about anything ever, and is always on the right side of every conflict. Rule 15. Israel is the last bastion of freedom and democracy in the Middle East, and therefore must be defended, no matter how many journalists it has to assassinate, no matter how many press institutions it needs to shut down, no matter how many protests its supporters need to dismantle, no matter how much free speech it needs to eliminate, no matter how many civil rights its Western backers need to erase, and no matter how many elections its lobbyists need to buy.